I see what you did there, Paramount. An original series called Knuckles coming out the same year as the Sonic 3 movie. Pretty clever if you ask me. So, the Knuckles series is out now on Paramount Plus. I watched it, I thought about it a lot, and I enjoyed it overall. It's tough, because it's not an objectively good show, and certain aspects of it are flat out terrible. But my love for the Sonic cinematic universe was enough to make it a positive viewing experience, and it'll be more than enough to hold me over until the third movie this December. Today though, we're going to take a deep dive into the show and talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, and what this all means for the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog 3 film. Now, disclaimer, if you haven't seen this yet and want to experience it with a clean slate, add this to your watch later and come back when you're done watching it. There's gonna be spoilers. Alright, we good? That's the only warning I'm giving, so let's go. Right away, I have to compliment how the show looks. Most of the time, when you hear a movie is being turned into a show, you expect reused assets, weaker castings, and a cheaper looking animation. And I'm happy to report, this show doesn't suffer from any of that. That's mostly because Knuckles goes off on a solo adventure with a smaller character from the movies, Wade Whipple. That means most of the expensive actors, your Jim Carreys, James Marsdens, and Ben Schwartzes didn't need to get paid. Sonic, Tails, and Rachel do make a brief appearance in the beginning of the pilot, but after that they're gone, and the show introduces a new slate of characters to fill the space. This is good because they're probably a better bang for your buck for a lower budget series, but it's also not great because you're losing the pre-established relationships the previous movies built, and it feels less and less like the Sonic source material. That's probably the biggest complaint I've seen with the series. It's more focused on Wade and the human characters than it is on Knuckles. I get that. It's called Knuckles after all. You want the story to be focused on him. But I'd argue Knuckles is the focal point of the story. The whole premise of the show is him trying to find purpose after retrieving the Master Emerald, which leads him to taking local goofball Wade Whipple under his wing as an apprentice. Throughout the show, Knuckles tries to teach him the way of the echidna, and despite being an incompetent idiot pretty much the entire time, he overcomes every single obstacle. When they first start off, it feels a lot like the first Sonic movie. Human and Sonic character buddy up and go on a road trip. But I think this show does it a little bit better. The movie portrays Tom as the responsible adult figure, while Sonic is an energetic child, and them getting along in the first place is solely because Tom feels bad for Sonic. This show does mostly the same thing. Knuckles is the serious, mature one, and Wade is the beta silly goose, but where the movie develops their relationship into Tom kinda adopting Sonic, this makes Wade and Knuckles understand each other as sort of equals in the end. These characters, despite their drastic differences, actually have quite a bit in common. Both are outcasts that lost their dads at a really young age. Knuckles lost his in the field of battle, and Wade's abandoned his family. Honestly, it explains why the dude's so insecure, and why it was so easy for a little girl to bully him early on. It also explains why the bowling tournament was so important to him in the first place. It felt super weird when they based the whole plot around Wade winning a stupid competition to impress his friends, but once everything unfolded and the family issues got involved, the whole thing made a lot more sense. But that said, Wade's family is kinda the worst part of the show. When they show up at his mom's house in episode 3, it starts out innocent enough, but the dinner scene was hard to watch. Wade's sister is annoying as fuck. I don't know if people enjoy watching characters bicker, but I personally cannot stand it. Oh, she threw a spoon across the room. Oh my god, she stabbed him with a fork. Does anyone actually find that shit funny? I get that's how families can be, but it's really uncomfortable to watch. And I know that was kind of the point, to show the impact his dad leaving had on the family, and to make the moment of them getting back at him all the more sweet, but was it worth it? I don't know. But the first 2 episodes are phenomenal. The pilot did just about everything right to set up a good story and had a really solid cliffhanger, and the second one was just a fun heist. Watching Wade's expectations versus reality of how this would play out was so enjoyable, one of my favorite sequences in the show. Then the third episode hits rock bottom and brings in all the family drama, but I guess that was necessary to set up for the later episodes, so I'm fine with it. However, the one that came right after it was another downer. It has good intentions, it's supposed to show the first real growth for Wade's character, but the way it does it is just no bueno. It opens with him getting captured by his old bowling buddy Jack. They placed a bounty on his head for helping Knuckles, and I mean I really can't blame him, it's $100,000. He's thrown into a cage being towed down the highway, and through a corny ass musical number, he finds the strength within, breaks out, and defeats his former friend. They build this up to be the fight, but then he just cuts off the dude's ponytail and automatically wins. It tries to do these pivotal character moments in the silliest possible way, and it doesn't really work in the show's favor. You spend all this time and effort trying to build tension just to immediately break it with some stupid ass remark from Wade. Like, I get it, it's funny because he's dumb, but when you're trying to show genuine growth in his character, maybe that's not the best time to make him look like an idiot. Just saying. And Oh no, I'm not just gonna gloss over that atrocious musical bit. It is bad and just prolongs the episode for no apparent reason. I like that they incorporated an elder echidna to guide Knuckles and Wade, but this was just not the way to do it. They were hinting at a
great battleground in the sky
being the place where Knuckles gets his power, and I was like, oh my god, they're gonna go to Angel Island, let's fucking go. Oh, it's a bowling alley again. And then the song was just the icing on the cake. Now, the middle of this series might be kind of shit, but thankfully, the last 2 episodes really pick up some steam. In the 5th one, we finally meet Wade's dad, the apparent celebrity Pistol Pete.
Yes, I know, and I am so frightfully sorry, dear boy.
Why is he Colonel Sanders? First off, it's cool they worked a casino into the series, about time for a Sonic-based universe. But second, this whole exchange between him and his dad is just not good. Their first encounter having Knuckles telling him what to say was just kind of weird, but later on when they were conversing at the bar, it felt a lot more genuine. Still though, it was predictable as f***.
You're not a schmuck.
You're my dad. Him backstabbing Wade once again by turning him over to the bad guys was a decent plot twist, though his mom warning him about his dad just moments prior kinda made it even more obvious. But that sets up a pretty tense moment. They've got Wade's sister and mom at gunpoint, and if he doesn't lead Knuckles up to his demise, they'll kill his family. So the stakes were pretty high, and it was a great moment because remember, Knuckles and Wade bonded over the fact that they'd been betrayed again and again throughout their lives. We witnessed it happen to Knuckles in the second Sonic movie, and seeing it almost happen again, even if it is against Wade's will, was really suspenseful. But the resolve was just kinda okay. The phone they were talking through earlier was just still on, which felt kinda cheap. But regardless, it was a pretty well done sequence, and the fighting scene to follow it up was just as great. Honestly, throughout the series, these are some of the highlights. Seeing all these gadgets fueled by Knuckles' power is really cool, and I especially love the literal Robo-Knuckles being used. But still, he kicks their asses with relative ease and brings it all back to the final round of the bowling championship between Wade and his dad, and it played out exactly how you'd think. They're neck and neck. Oh, he only gets 9! I hit 10! I win! Woo! That victory's a very short-lived one though, because the brains behind the villain operation, Mr. Beardman, whatever the f you want to call him, starts beating the piss out of Knuckles and drains all the power from him. Now, the mech he shows up in is pretty sweet. I mean, it's definitely just a Doc Ock ripoff, but it looks pretty sick. It just sucks he's not a villain from the games, but they explain he was one of Eggman's top assistants in Gun before they booted him for going off the deep end, so that's a solid enough motive and connection to the source material, and justified a final fight that was low-key kinda badass. Wade getting to use the Knuckles to stall the boss with bowling balls was a cool moment for him, and Knuckles stepping up last second to save the day and crush him with a huge ball was an epic finishing touch. But yeah, that's the Knuckles show in a nutshell. Overall, it's a fun side quest in this Sonic cinematic universe, and I had a pretty good time with it. It definitely doesn't hold up to the same quality as the first 2 movies, but for a streaming service exclusive show, it's one of the better ones I've seen, especially on Paramount. Now, with all that said, what does it mean for the Sonic Movie 3 coming this December? Honestly, not much. We see Knuckles build a connection with Wade's family, but I don't think he's gonna outright abandon the gang from the movies for this new crew. They wouldn't assemble Team Sonic on the big screen just to dissolve it in a Paramount Plus original. It seemed like that was the direction they were going when Wade's mom was yapping about how families don't stick together, but that wasn't the message in the end. Will we see more of the Whipples in the movie though? Maybe a little, but I don't think they'll get that much attention. After all, it's a Sonic movie, not a Knuckles movie, and they've got plenty of characters to build, with Shadow, Maria, and Eggman's grandfather? Maybe? I don't know. But if you have any takes on this, please share them down below. I'm really hyped for the Sonic Movie 3, even more so after this miniseries. So let me know your thoughts and everything so we can talk about it. And if you enjoy videos like these, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We post content like this every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern, and you won't want to miss anything. In the meantime, check out this video, where I compare the Sonic movie franchise to the Mario movie. Or this video, where I talk about an obscure Mario animated series. Thank you so much for watching.